We need to look at the foods that you're currently eating and really assess which ones are serving you and which ones are hurting you. I'm on a mission right now to serve as many women as possible. A minimum of 1 million women is my targeted goal by the end of 2023.
Hey, Masters, welcome to another episode of Path to Mastery. Today we're with Mrs. Nikou Lohse. Did I say it right?
Okay. So first name is Nikou. Just think of my knee. Right. I'm a little cuckoo. You'll never forget it.
Cuckoo. I will never forget it. All right. Awesome. I love it. All right. And thanks for joining us today, by the way.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, and we're doing this thing here on Instagram, and I'm going to shut off my volume because I can hear it. So,
yep.
I don't think it's. How can I do this now? Let's see. Oh, that's not what I want to do.
So I turned the volume all the way down just so I'm not getting the feedback. It'll still be there because I don't know how to mute it.
Yeah, me neither. So I'm just going to leave it for now and ignore it. How do I sound? Do you hear it in the background or no?
No, you sound great. Can you hear any feedback on my side?
No, not at all. So that's perfect. All right, good. So this is the first time I've experienced doing this as a podcast, but I love it. So sometimes it takes you, I think this is like 270 episodes or something. So, but hey, it's nice to meet you in person. I know you're from Clubhouse and from the Breakfast with Champions group.
Yeah, it's really great to see your face instead of just hearing the voice. I've enjoyed listening to you since before the summer. So it's been good.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Amen. Yes, same thing. And so first off, tell us a little bit about, I know you're in the health and nutrition space. So tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do? And frankly, why should these people here be listening to you besides your skills on Instagram?
Well, other than my passions and my areas of expertise, I am a born entrepreneur. My father was an entrepreneur. I'm a serial entrepreneur, starting businesses from 21 years old to now I'm in my mid 30s and still running companies. I'm on my 9th business now, currently juggling 4 at the same time, and they're my main passion. So one hat that I wear is I am a holistic health coach. I help people look at their lives holistically, mind, body, soul, spirit, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and find a balance in their lives. Because I think some people are really focused on elevating their life through like fitness and movement, but then they forget about like the emotional aspect of their being and the physical, the mental side. So I help people really look at where they're at today and find the root cause to the main pain points in their lives, their areas of unhappiness, and helping solve that through creating balance. Another hat that I wear is I am a fitness junkie. I've been working out since I was 13 years young, thanks to my father, who was an amateur weightlifter. And because of that, now I'm a master Pilates teacher, yoga teacher, barre instructor. I teach group fitness at a lot of different gyms and have my own Pilates studio, Pilates Yoga Love, here in Scottsdale, Arizona, where I really specialize in helping people rehabilitate from injuries like hip replacements, knee issues. I work with a lot of athletes. Thanks to my husband, he was my first guinea pig. He was a Major League Baseball player, starting pitcher for many teams. So had a lot of experience working with guys that were really taxing their bodies. But that's like, when it comes to Pilates, I love helping people, yes, with core strength and mobility, but really realigning their body so they can really transform their lives. So that's a second hat. And then my third hat is this gut health space. I am very passionate about helping women find and feel their best from the inside out by taking a look at their gut health, looking at issues like bloating, chronic inflammation, fatigue, skin issues are a direct result of issues with the gut. If they're dealing with anxiety or depression, especially postpartum, that's a niche of mine. I like to help those women find their way back to health and happiness. And we do that through food. We do that through movement. We do that through mindfulness, journaling, a lot of different things that I did to heal myself from SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Some people call it leaky gut. But that was something I was diagnosed with a year and a half ago. I was told to be put on 3 weeks of antibiotics, and I didn't want to be medicated at the time when I was breastfeeding a newborn. I was like, I need to find a more holistic way. And I did. By changing my nutrition, by focusing on mindfulness, I was able to heal my leaky gut void of medication. And it also helped me with my postpartum depression. So I'm on a mission right now to to serve as many women as possible. A minimum of 1 million women is my targeted goal by the end of 2023.
I love it. Awesome. Okay. I want to jump back to, well, there's a lot of stuff there. And the cool thing is they're all in the same, they're all connected. They're all do with health, right? Health and nutrition. You mentioned, holistic health coach. And I think you said balance. Tell us, what's the balance again? The balance is what? It's
finding a balance in your life, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. For instance, I had a client come to me. It was a woman in her early to mid 40s, and she's a mother of 3 children. She's been experiencing weight gain. Obviously, that happens as our hormones change, as we're kind of becoming premenopausal as women. And she was just really struggling to get rid of those stubborn 10 pounds. And she's like, Nikou, I work out 6 days a week. I do a minimum of 45 minutes of cardio every single day, and I cannot shed the weight. And most people will look at the problem, right? The symptom is weight gain. The issue is I can't lose the weight. And they just try to solve that main issue instead of getting down to the root cause of what is contributing to some of these problems that she was having with weight gain. Well, number one, her hormones were imbalanced. So we had to start working on rebalancing her hormones, which nutrition, gut health, and managing your sleep and your stress levels attribute to that. The second thing was when you look at her mental side of her life, right? She was chronically fatigued and stressed out as a mother, managing 3 different kids' extracurricular schedules, working in business. She was a high-level partner at a law firm. So she was just go, 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 running all the time. She would sleep on average 5 hours a night. So her cortisol levels were all messed up. And just by doing some simple lab testing, we were able to see that her cortisol was inverted, where it's supposed to be going down before sleep and come up when you're waking. Hers was actually going up when it was time for bed. And it was very, very low when she woke up. So she was waking up feeling groggy and tired. She would be exhausted by noon, and her sleep was off. So we had to work on getting her sleep right. We had to work on her nutrition because she was eating a lot of inflammatory foods that were causing gut issues. And your food does attribute to your mood. And when we fixed her sleep, we fixed her gut. Guess what happened? Her hormones balanced naturally, and she started to lose those 10 pounds effortlessly with less cardio. She only went down to doing 2 days of cardio a week, working out 4 days.
That's interesting, because when you said that, the first place my head went was diet. And you did talk about it's ironically, I just did a food test. And I just got the results back a few days ago. I did a, you know what I'm talking about? I think
like an Everlywell food sensitivity and tolerance test.
Vita or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I just did that because, for other, reasons, I'm not going to get into all the details right now, but just somebody I was at this event and they were talking about your stool and stuff. And based on what she said, I'm like, well, hold on, mine doesn't look like that. So that's kind of where we started. And anyway, that's a different conversation.
There's a lot of interesting conversations centered around poop.
Yeah, I was like, holy cow. I mean, she literally said it should be like the size of your wrist and solid. And I'm like, well, I don't know.
You had floaters, you had floaties, and they were all pebbles.
That's not what mine looks like. So anyway, that's where we are right now. But what would you say? I mean, obviously food is a big part of it, right? I mean, if somebody's, I've been in, I started working out at 17. I never stopped. I'm really fit. I've done an Ironman race. I do triathlon. I swim, I bike. I mean, every day I work out. So
amazing.
But at the same time, the diet is very, very important, but it's not just diet. It's the right food, right? So
I don't like to use the word diet because from a mental standpoint, people think diet, they're like, I need to go on a diet. And it already sounds like a scary thing or a big undertaking, or really it's temporary. Diets are temporary. And I like people to think of it as a lifestyle. We need to look at the foods that you're currently eating and really assess which ones are serving you and which ones are hurting you. Once we realize the best foods for you, because everyone's gut microbiome is specific and unique to them, foods that work for me that are healthy may not work for you. So we need to really figure that out. But with food, it's about eating foods that are going to make you A, feel satiated after you eat, so you feel good, and B, give you energy and vitality so that you can go and do all the things that you want to accomplish in your life, whether it's athletics, performance, or it's in business, whatever area. If you have kids running around and trying to keep up with them past 10 a.m., right? For someone that's looking for more like athletic performance, weight loss, fitness, getting the gains, right? It's 80 to 90% nutrition based and only 10 to 20% based on the work that you do in the gym or in your fitness. And I think people get that wrong. They're like, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to get buff. I want to get ripped. So I'm just going to work out. Maybe they make a tweak or two in their food, but then they're not getting the results. Well, it's 80 to 90% built in the kitchen. If you're looking for abs and you want a six pack, it's 90% your food and only 10% your workout. So yeah, it's really important.
It's like, I know, someone they'll do, 45 minutes on a treadmill and then go have cookies.
Yeah,
And just
totally.
completely just negate everything that was done on the treadmill. Right. So
they deplete themselves. So they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. And they reach for that sugar or that instant carb that's going to give them energy. And it's like, that totally negated what you just did. It actually you went one step forward, 5 steps back because of your food choice.
Yeah. How important is that? Like, we'll talk about the carbs. I mean, well, there's a couple of things I want to go to. The carbs, first off, like, are there, there's like that we should stay away from carbs there. Is that true? Or what's your thought process with it? So I honestly, again, as somebody that was as a triathlete, when I did my race, I cut out carbs almost completely with the exception of like energy bars and stuff like that. And only before a race, I would, and I lost a lot of weight. I went from 170 to 158, just obviously shredded and fit. But as soon as I started eating carbs again, now I'm back to 170, Right.
So there's something called metabolic flexibility. And when you do the work to heal your gut of inflammation, you have the opportunity to eat foods that maybe are not the best foods, like high carbohydrate meals. I just went and had brunch with a friend and I had French toast, which I shouldn't have because I have a gluten intolerance and it has a ton of sugar on it. And I also had like a hash skillet, which was like potatoes and all the things. But I have metabolic flexibility. So I don't feel like I'm in pain right now versus before I healed my gut, I would have been in gut wrenching pain right now. I would have been bloated like I was 4 to 5 months pregnant. I'd probably be in the bathroom having some serious issues. And these are things that I'm intolerant to, but I'm able to tolerate them every once in a while in small doses because my gut is healed and it knows that, oh my gosh, something's happening. Let's go ahead and take care of the problem. Let's exit it from the system, right? Digestion's working. It's going to go ahead and get out of my system and I'm going to be fine. That's called metabolic flexibility, but you have to build that. And you build that a number of different ways. Number one, you need to find out what foods you're sensitive or intolerant to and cut them out, do an elimination diet, reintroduce them one at a time to see which ones you really can handle. Number two, you need to cut out carbs and you have to break your addiction with sugar so that you can heal your gut microbiome. There's something called bacterial overgrowth. And these bad bacteria in the gut, they feed off of carbohydrates and sugar. So if you have an overgrowth of those bacteria, you got to starve them to kill them off. You can do that with antibiotics for 3 weeks, or you can do that by changing your nutrition. So that's like a really important place to start. But when it comes to carbs, I get this question asked a lot. Should I do low carb diets? Right? Here's that word diet again. And I hate that because it shouldn't be any one thing. It should be a little bit of everything. It's a lifestyle. So there's a time and a place for carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are meant to give you energy. But if you're eating the wrong carbohydrates, they're going to cause you to feel sluggish and fatigued and heavy. If your goal is weight loss, I would recommend cutting out carbohydrates, not indefinitely forever, because then your body's going to have a hard time digesting them later, but maybe for 3 weeks, up to 6 weeks, if you're looking for weight loss. If you're an athlete and you need to perform and you need endurance, carbohydrates are essential. You need to have them to have that extra energy. Otherwise, yes, you're going to lose weight. You're going to be lean, but you're going to feel frail. You're going to feel not strong. Like you're not going to be feeling and performing at your best, right? So there's a time and a place, but there's better carbs out there. So is a white potato better or sweet potato? Sweet potato, obviously. Are a bag of chips better or some flaxseed chips? Flaxseed chips that are made with avocado oil, not vegetable oil. Like there's better options. So I just try to educate people on what carbs are doing in your body. Number one, what carbs people normally eat and what are some healthy swaps for those carbs. And then also looking at their macros, depending on what their goals are. If it's getting lean and ripped for a fitness competition or it's running a triathlon, we look at the macros and we kind of play with them from there.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Do you so you talked about having the nice French toast and the other stuff earlier. Do
It
you
was so
run
good.
like for me, I do almost like it's like 90-10. 90% of the time I'm eating healthy, really aware of what I'm eating. And then 10% I'm just like, whatever. Is that kind of a plan you have as well? Or how do you, and
Yeah,
I want to answer that question. I will be right back because I'm going to grab my thing that's sitting on my desk right there. I have to grab it.
sounds good.
All right.
So funny enough, I wish I could say that I was disciplined enough to be 90-10. But realistically, it's more like 75-25 or 80-20 because I am a foodie. I love food. I am a recovering emotional eater. I used to eat food to make me feel happy. And that's something I've been working on for the last couple of years is breaking that relationship with food and starting a new relationship with it more as nourishment. But I would say 80% of the time I eat healthy, I make good health decisions. And then the other 20% of the time I allow myself to indulge and enjoy because that's what life's about.
Yeah, I love it. So this is my thing here, the test. And I just got it back as I was mentioning.
Yes.
And it's crazy because there's stuff on there that says I shouldn't eat, which is bananas, which I eat tons of, avocado, coffee. I looked at it and I'm just like, this makes no sense. I threw it on my desk like 3 weeks ago and ignored it. Green tea. It's like everything.
All the things that you're
Yeah,
eating, right? So
everything I'm
here's
eating
one
is
thing about those tests that I just want to clarify. Oftentimes those tests will come back and show you foods that you are sensitive and or intolerant to. And a lot of these are foods that you're eating all the time. The reason is because they're in your gut more, and you may have had a lot more of it in your system when you did that test. It's going to be a higher level than what a normal person might have had. So it might come out as an intolerance, but you're not really that intolerant to it as much as the test says. If it says like a 6 out of 10 on the scale, you might be like a 3 out of 10. If it says you're moderately intolerant, you might be mildly intolerant, but because you're ingesting so much of it, it's a higher level that's showing up in that test, if that makes sense. So when I did my test, it came back similarly.
So I have a call next week scheduled with them to kind of go through it and everything and come up with a plan. How important is hydration? Like,
hands down, without a doubt, one of the most important things, if not the most important thing for everyone to focus on, athlete or not, whatever your age is, hydration is key to vitality. Hydration is key to having good sleep. Hydration is key to having good skin, to having good digestion, for gut health, and most importantly, for your energy. So I have my water here right next to me. I never go anywhere without water available. And my water right now actually has some electrolytes in it.
I do like
and
4 of these a day myself.
Yes, I know. And people are always like, oh my gosh, I'm drinking like a gallon a day, right? They're doing 75 hard. I'm like, you really don't have to be drinking a gallon a day. Take your body weight in pounds. So I'm 130 pounds, divided in half, 65. That's how many ounces of water you should be getting a day. So my number is 65. That's about 8-ounce glasses of water a day. Or if I'm doing those water bottles, I'm going to be having 4 of those, right? You want to make sure you're drinking water because it's going to help with so many things, and then boost your water with electrolytes, or you can even put some Himalayan sea salt in your water, and that's going to help you with the electrolytes. Those are magnesium, sodium, chloride, and potassium. And it's really, really important for people to be getting those electrolytes in for recovery. And also they help you break your sugar addiction. Little fun fact there.
I love it. What would you say is the biggest challenge now you see with people when it comes to holistic health?
For sure, if we're talking about food, it's emotional eating. A lot of people reach for food to get through some of their feelings and emotions, right? You're sad, so you reach for that tub of ice cream. You're stressed, so you go and you have fast food because you don't have time to prepare a meal. You don't even want to think about it. So we're like going through the drive-through. People want things that are quick. So there's a lot of packaged goods, things that are microwavable that have an expiration date a year plus out from now that have been sitting in their pantry for who knows how long. And a lot of those foods have a ton of preservatives in them and some really, really bad ingredients because they're cheaper products for a reason. They're using cheaper ingredients. So I think that's like a huge pandemic right now is the foods that people are eating and relying on. And second to that is people using food to help them with their emotional state.
there was a conversation last week that I was involved in, and somebody had shared how and I just want to get your thoughts on this. They were struggling in their business, and things weren't going well in the business, so they were not wanting to wake up in the morning, or they were having problems waking up. And my thought process is, well, I don't know. I'm more like a structured, like, okay, I have a routine. I wake up at a certain time. I journal. I meditate. What's it called? I journal, meditate, exercise every morning. I hydrate. I have my process, read, study. How important is that? I mean, because even if your business is struggling, because you said it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. So mentally, maybe I'm not in the game, but if I still do the other things, does it help the game? Right? I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I would say that mentally you are in the game, because what you're doing in the morning versus what many other people do, most people wake up and the first thing they do is they reach for their phone and they get on social media, or they check their emails, their inbox. And that is not mentally stimulating yourself, growing yourself. That's more just downloading, right? Information or viewing. But when you're going and you're being really intentional with your morning reading, you're reading, you're using your cognitive abilities to absorb and analyze and understand information, you're feeding yourself with information, you're making yourself a priority, and you're stimulating your brain in a very healthy way, not just by looking at a blue screen and just seeing other people's lives. And when a lot of people do that, they start judging and comparing, and it's not a positive thing. But you're feeding your mind, you're feeding your brain first and foremost. So I would say mentally you're doing a great job. Emotionally, you're doing a great job too, because you're making yourself the priority. That's self-love, that's self-care. You're pouring into your own cup, so then you can then go on to the rest of your day with your children, with your wife, with your businesses, and pour from your overflow. This is a big thing you guys hear me say all the time. Pour from your abundance, not from your reserve. So essential. And you don't have an abundance unless you start doing things like you said, reading, taking the time, meditating, journaling, becoming self-aware.
So if somebody said, if you heard somebody say, "Oh man, I just don't even want to get up in the morning because of my business as an entrepreneur," what would you say to that person?
Well, I hear that all the time. I would say almost every single one of my clients has said that at some point. And what I tell that person is, we need to take a look at the root cause. What is causing you to feel that way? Is it truly your business? Is it because you're not getting enough sleep? Is it because you're not intentional when you wake up? Is it because you're waking up without any goals or direction or purpose and passion? Is it because you're not making yourself a priority during the day, where you're excited to get up and do things that you love, that make you feel excited to go and tackle the day and tackle your business? Like, what's going on where you're waking up and you're not enjoying life to the fullest? Because every single day is a blessing. Life is a blessing. Our breath is a blessing. And I have to help them reset their mindset. One thing that I love, I believe that one of my God-given talents that I need to work on really is my voice and my ability to motivate and empower people. I can do that naturally. I don't have to study. I don't have to go to I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. Like, some people just have to go and really work on that. I haven't had to as of yet. Although people are like, go to Toastmasters, something I'll probably do one day. But with that being said, I think a lot of that is because I am put on this earth to encounter people like that are waking up and not feeling like they have a purpose or they have the excitement to get going with their day. And it's my job to help spark that fire inside them, just to be the lighter, ignite it, and then show them some tactical steps and techniques that they can start applying to start living their best life. And it comes back to that holistic health approach. What's going on mentally? Where are your thoughts? We need to reprogram, rewire, rework your brain and the neural pathways that it's firing right now, because something is off and we just need to fix it, right? We need an oil change is essentially what we need to do for the mindset. What's going on emotionally? Why are you feeling exhausted? Why are you feeling unmotivated? Where is that coming from? Yeah. Physically, how do you feel in your body? Do you wake up wanting to look in the mirror because you feel confident about the person looking back? And then spiritually, do you feel like you're part of something greater than just you? Do you feel connected? Do you feel that you have a community that is there to support you and have your back? So we really look at the whole picture, and then we start fixing the areas that they're not at their best.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Interestingly, as I'm listening to you, it kind of clicked that I kind of just went right to, okay, well, it's the business that's the issue, but it may be the other things that are the real issue, which now is affecting the business, right? So your business may be the result of you not eating right or healthy or clean or sleeping, right? Is that
100%.
true? Or
and that's why there are holistic health coaches. Is you come to me with a symptom, this is my problem, and then I look at the whole picture and I find the root cause of that problem. It could be the food that is making that person have this mood of being unmotivated, tired, sluggish, fatigued. When they wake up in the morning, they're not feeling vital and energetic, ready to tackle the day. It could be that they're not working in their area of genius. They're not pursuing their true passion. So we need to assess, are they aware of what they truly love to do? And start working on that through journaling, meditation, mindfulness. So we really, really dive in a number of different ways to figure out what's the root cause of this problem. And then we solve the root cause, not just the symptom, because the symptom's temporary. It's going to come back again later.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. So what, so we're still on Instagram. Are we still on Instagram? I don't know.
We're still on Instagram. We got a couple people watching us there.
All right. So you want to ask someone, do we have a question from Instagram? I guess. Why not?
Try.
Right?
That would be so much fun.
That's different. My phone's black, so I don't know what's happening here, but let me try to go in there again. Yeah, we're still there. All right, cool.
Yeah, we got a couple of people on there.
Let's see. So can I? Yeah, I've got the sales agent is on there. What's up, sales angel? We've got Shantae's on there. Wow. We got
Danielle, Allison, I see Ella, Aloha, Kurt Johnson. We got a lot of people on here. All right. So if you guys are listening to us on Instagram, you have a question. It looks like we have one question that just came in by S. Heron. For your gut health, what is the first thing you would recommend doing? Okay, so let's answer that question. First thing for your gut health is go and get some sort of a food sensitivity or intolerance test to find out if you're eating some foods that do not work for your gut microbiome. And second thing is I would eliminate those things from your diet for 3 weeks and then start to introduce one thing back at a time for 3 days. Nothing else. Don't change any other factors, any other variables. Only introduce one thing from your intolerance list at a time. Start with the thing that you're most intolerant to, right? So you'll get that intolerance test back and it'll show you like on a scale of 1 to 10 or high, moderate, low, what the foods come in. Do the highest level intolerances first for 3 days, eat it, and then start journaling on how you feel mentally, how you feel in your gut, how your stools and digestion is, and then assess, is this food really working for me or not working for me? And go from there. Introduce a second thing for another 3 days, a third thing for 3 days, and introduce those intolerances back one at a time to figure out what are the things that are really causing your gut issues. That's where I would start 100%, which I know David's doing because he just got his results.
ALCAT. I think it's called ALCAT, ALCAT.
Yep. And there's so many different ones. ALCAT's just one. Everlywell has one that you can do at home. I love Vibrant America. They'll come and actually do blood work at your house, but find a functional medicine doctor. They can help you. A naturopathic doctor can help you too. If you're wondering, how do you start that? Or you could even go to Everlywell and you can get an at-home test. And if you need a discount code for that, just send me a DM and I'll send one over to you.
Here's something super crazy. So my severe, it says severe. I have 2 things on there: black-eyed peas and clams, which I don't eat either of them ever. So it's like, I don't even know.
Those are definitely severe. Then if you're not eating them, they're not on your system and they're coming up, stay away from them.
Yeah. And then the thing that bothers me is avocado. I love banana. Anyway, we'll figure that out. Yeah. Well, listen, I just want to say, I appreciate you being here today. This was fun. How do you want to give one more question? Do we have time for one more question?
Yeah, we have one more question on there that I would love to answer. It's coming from Lady Viz 8. She said, how to remove symptoms of bloated stomach. And she asked if I can give her a suggestion for that. If you actually click on the link in my bio at Nikou Lohse, that's NIKOULOHSE on Instagram, you can claim my free Bye bloating guide, where I give you my top 4 tips on how to say goodbye to bloating. So check that out. If you have any questions after you get that PDF, just go ahead and send me a DM on Instagram, or you can send me an email. My email is nikoulohse@gmail.com. I love to answer your questions there, but that guide will give you some of my favorite action steps to saying goodbye to bloating, ladies.
Awesome. 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 All right. So my final question for you is what, well, there's two questions. First one is this is a question I ask everybody to give me a question. And the question you gave me was, what has gotten you to where you are today?
So I have people, they're like, you do so many things and it's kind of complicated and confusing. Like my mentors will tell me, you need to niche down. You need to just do one thing, promote just one area of expertise that you're really, really good at, or one thing that you're currently working on. And it's hard for me to do that because I believe that we need to be multifaceted to really solve problems. It's not just one thing that I do that solves a problem, right? I'm a Pilates yoga barre teacher. I can get you into great shape, realign your spine, transform your body, transform your life. But if we're not looking at the other areas, like your mindset and your mindfulness and your breath work routines and your intentionality in the morning when you wake up, then I'm not doing you a full service. I could also be a nutritionist for you and help you with meal planning, which I do, gut health, which I do, lab work, which I help with. But again, just solving your nutritional gut health issues isn't going to help you in all areas of your life. So really, what got me to where I am today? Well, number one, I've been working out since I'm 13.
Can I just comment to that point though?
Yeah.
So when I look at you, I do see one thing. I see health. All those other things just fall under that, within that health, right?
Amen.
So even though there's all these other little things, they're all within that one thing, which is health.
Absolutely. Health and wellness. If you need
it's
a
not
health
like you're
and
working on
wellness
cars
coach,
or something, right? Like you're a mechanic on the side, or
I'm not just a
right?
Mercedes mechanic. I can actually
but
solve all the cars. I've
so,
done all the studying.
and I only say that because we had this conversation the other day, and I think one of the challenges is people will do multiple things, but they'll be doing things like, okay, well, I'm a salesman, but I also do direct marketing, and I sell solar here, and so it's all these different things. But anyway, I interrupted you, but I want to just make that,
no, you're fine.
that distinction,
I appreciate
because
it.
I see you as you're a health expert, and everything is one thing, right? It's in
100%.
that realm.
100%. And I created an online tribe called Elevated Tribe on March 25th of 2020 when the pandemic hit and we all went into shutdown, because I knew the importance of movement, mindfulness, and community. And I wanted a place where women could show up and do live workouts with me, have authentic conversations, make friends all over the country. And now we're global, and just inspire them to be able to know that they're not alone at this time of isolation and just not feeling like we have our normal routines. And I think that's important. It's creating connection. But what got me to where I am today? First and foremost, movement will always be a part of my life. It's a legacy that my father left behind, and a passion of mine. I love to move because it makes me feel vibrant and vital. And as you know, when you're feeling good, you're feeling fit, you show up way better in business. It's like you walk in, you put on your suit, you just feel like a boss, right? You walk in, your chest is pumped up because your alignment, your posture is good. You're like, I'm ready to close a deal. I know you work in real estate. You're ready to meet that person, shake their hand, show them that listing, and make it happen. So movement is essential. Fitness is essential for confidence, for well-being, for hormone balancing, for so many things. And then the gut health thing, it happened because when I had my son, Kai, August of 2019, I then very quickly fell into really, really bad postpartum depression about 9 weeks after I'd had him. And I tried to get through it as best as I could, but it wasn't until I healed my gut that my postpartum depression really healed itself. So that's what got me into the gut health space. And then also mindfulness, breath work. We live in a very, very high stress society. We're constantly running. We're all on the hamster wheel. It's a rat race to, the Jones have that. I got to have it too. And we're all living for the future, not living in the present. So I want to teach more people how to become intentional and how to live in this moment, the present moment, because it's the only time that we have full control over. We can't help what happened to us yesterday, David. We can't help the trauma that we went through a decade ago. And we don't know. We're not promised tomorrow. Yeah. We're not promised our 5-year plan. So how can I teach people to get really, really good at living in today and falling in love with this present moment and falling in love with themselves and self-care and self-love so they can operate from a place of abundance? That's what I'm all about. So that's kind of what got me here today. And that's the message that I want to leave, the mark I want to leave on this world. So if I do leave tomorrow because it was God's plan, at least I know I made a difference while I was here taking my breath.
So important. Last week, I don't know what was weird. I think I was in like Whole Foods and I was rushing around, and for the first time in my life, I was like, what am I rushing for? I don't know. It was such a weird, just like a moment of like, why am I rushing? You know, I'm 52 years old now. It's just like, what am I rushing to? Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just
I ask my
I don't
clients that all the
know.
time. I was like, why? Like,
Yeah.
I have some of my unhappiest clients, David, are millionaires trying to become billionaires.
Hmm.
And I always ask them, I'm like, what's the point? All the dollars, all the cars, the private jet, the multiple houses, the vacation homes all over the country, some all over the world. And now you're aspiring to buy an island. Like, why? When will enough be enough? What will truly make you happy? And what if you never make it to that moment where you finally get that island? Was it worth it?
Yeah.
Did you get to enjoy your family along the way? Did you get to make memories? You keep saying you're going to travel and go to that country after you do this. Well, what if that day never comes?
Yeah. Amen. Well, I can tell you the best thing I did yesterday is something I haven't done in a long time, 30 years, if not more, was I drew, well, not actually, no, I did. I've done it before 30 years. But my two daughters and my wife, they went out and got watercolors and, you know, prints, and they were drawing, and I came down, and I wasn't intending to do that. I came down to get hot water or something. And Samara was like, "You gonna draw with us?" And I was like, no, I can't. I got stuff to do. And I did. And then I said, no, I don't have stuff to do. The thing to do now is, so I spent 30 minutes and I started drawing with them, and it was phenomenal. And not drawing, but, you know, paint, and it was fun. It was actually really fun. And my 4-year-old just dumps all the paint in a bowl and mixes everything together and then dumps it all over the table. It was absurd, but it was amazing.
Well, it's so good for you. I mean, you were allowing yourself to play. We have to learn how to not just work all the time, but learn how to play. And that's something that was told to me by multiple mentors when I was in my 20s running my sales and marketing company. They were like, Nikou, you work too much. You got to learn how to play. When I would go and do my keynote speeches at the conferences every quarter, they were like, gosh, you're so serious. You need to learn how to smile. You need to bring more joy into what you're doing. It's not that you're not good at what you're doing, but
I get it. You're
just going too hard. And yeah, I love that you did that. Not only for you, David, but for the relationship and the memories that you created with your girls, because they're going to remember that. They're going to grow up and remember that time when daddy spent 30 minutes doing watercolor with me.
Yeah. And we're going to finish them on Saturday. We're going to spend a couple hours on Saturday, finish it. We already started it. So I'll post it on the Instagram soon. Yes. Done. I'm going to put it right on that blank wall behind me. I'm excited.
I love it. You want to know a funny thing? We'll close out with this. I just finished this book called A Big Leap. And in there, it talks about taking control of time. And here's a funny situation that a lot of us parents can relate to. Our kids come to us, we're busy, we're working, we're doing our thing. And they say, mommy, 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 daddy, 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 can you come play with me? Can you take me outside? Can we go ride bikes? And it's like, no, honey, I don't have time for that. Right? Oh, let's do that later. Right? Well, what if that same kid came to you in that exact same moment when you were doing the exact same work and said, daddy, I just fell and I broke my finger. Would you all of a sudden have
nothing
time?
else matters. Yeah.
Or would you be like, oh no, honey, I'm sorry. I have to work. Let me take care of your broken finger later. So the point is, we all have the ability and the control to make time. Time does not control us. We are in control of time. Remember that. Make the time if you want to work out. You're not too busy to get 15 minutes of exercise and movement into your day. You're doing conference calls, Zoom calls. Guess what? When I'm on the Breakfast with Champions Zoom call later, you know what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be working out at the same time. I'm going to do 10 minutes of Pilates. I might even hop on the Peloton bike, which I hate, but it's staring at me right there. So I might as well hop on there for 10 minutes and move my legs instead of just sitting here sedentary, doing nothing for 60 minutes. I'm going to make time to move. I might hold a plank for a minute every single hour for 10 hours. And I just strengthen my core. 1 minute, an hour, you can all make time for that. I was on the plane for 2.5 hours flying home from our Thanksgiving last week. Guess what I did? On the hour every hour, I got up and I walked to the bathroom. I went in the bathroom. Most people would think I'm going to the bathroom, but you know what I do? Lock the door and I do 10 to 20 squats in the bathroom. Yes. And then I stand up and I do a quad stretch and a hip flexor stretch. So you might think I'm going to the bathroom, but I'm getting up, I'm moving, I'm engaging my muscles, I'm moving my body, and I'm having fun while I'm at it. Because when I come out, flush the toilet, it's like, y'all think I just went to the bathroom. I just got my workout in. And I got my stand goal for my Apple Watch.
Awesome. All right, my friend. Well, listen, I appreciate you. This was super fun. End on the note. We'll end on a question. So, final question: if for people listening to this, if there's one, what's the one thing you want them to take away from this talk today?
If there was only one thing, I want them to know that they're worthy. They are worthy of the same time, attention, and detail that they so freely give to everyone and everything else right now, whether it's their business, whether it's their family, whether it's their children, whether it's their charitable works. Right now, during the holidays, we're all trying to pour and pour and pour and give and give and give. It's Giving Tuesday, Small Business Saturday. We're just giving, giving, giving. Well, the same giving that you're so freely willing to do for others, I want you to know that you're worthy to do that for yourself. You're worthy of that same love and time and attention. Fill your own cup. Make a list of 3 things that you love the most, that you don't have the time to do, and go out there today and make the time to do those things, because it's the best gift that you can give to yourself, which in turn is going to be the best gift you can give to your children, your business, and your community.
Outstanding. Thank you. I appreciate you being here today.
Thanks so much for having me, David. This was a lot of fun. Appreciate you.